Well, hello, hello. This is Sahara, and it's so nice to be talking to you again. I will show you something interesting that we did on the last YouTube. My question today is well, it's about you know who, he who must not be named, Mr. Trump. And the one thing, this is kind of coming from my logic. I haven't had any dreams or intuitions about it, but it's kind of a logical question. And my thought about Mr. Trump is, of course, he is kind of, I guess you call it a dictator type. And what that can mean is he can get himself into a position of declaring martial law. That is something that Hitler did to gain total um, control. He fabricated a fire at an embassy or something and said it was an attack on him. And he took over the military, and after that, he could do whatever he wanted. And I did Hitler's chart once. You know, he was all earth signs, mainly Capricorn and Taurus. He just wanted money and land. He wasn't particularly a killer. He wasn't a murderer. However, to get the money that he wanted for land, it was all about land. And that means I need power. Then he needed uh, lots of money for that. Where could he find that money quickly? Well, the Jewish people. There's like a million of them, and many of them had assets such as businesses, land, art collections, and that was a way for him to get the money to fuel his land grab. He wanted the whole world. Not funny, you know. So he didn't particularly hate anybody. He just wanted land. And that's what he was all about, without that Taurus Capricorn. So Trump wants to be king. That's kind of obvious. And I've done his chart. It's like you don't need an astrologer for that. Maybe for someone like Hitler, because you're like, what was he doing? That was horrible. And the thing is, this is what people do. We live on a finite planet. There's only so much room, and if you want lots of land, you have to steal it. That's part of the deal in this reality, but not for long, because of the study of the yugas, SYUGA, it lets you know what's coming up in the long run. However, we are stuck here in the moment and having to deal with a soon to be 72-year-old wannabe dictator or king, really king. And would he do something to declare martial law? It's possible. If he looks like that blue wave is coming and he's going to lose power, he will. So I'm not, this is logic. So right now I'm going to move over to the intuitive side of life. Uh, I'll take a minute to pray. I'll cut the video, and then I'll come back. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to show you. It was so cool with the last reading. The last couple readings ago, I got this stone for Kavanaugh's confirmation. This stone was right up here in the 10th house, and it made me realize there was something very sick about this whole process. This is sickness, plain old sickness, usually physical sickness in the abdomen of the body. This led me to believe that his future boss was sick, physically sick, and in trouble. So that one stone clued me in to do the next reading on Kavanaugh, because today is a day where people are testifying that he shouldn't be a judge. So, and chances are um, with the ladies coming to show his character, that other people are going to say that Dr. Ford and Miss Ramirez and the next two women to come forth are crisis actors. I've seen it. So, I mean, that's what they do. Now, creating a crisis is a way to do things and to gain power. And that's my question with Trump today. Is he going to do something major? Maybe this is why he and I think it was 5 senators or congressmen that went over to meet with Russia. I mean, really, do I need to say more? Are they planning some type of emergency? We'll see. Okay, I wanted to also say something about the last reading that showed how interesting these stones and gemstones can be. This is this was one of the astro dice that turned up with Kavanaugh, and it kind of spelled the end of him in being on the Supreme Court. At least in my book, this is Mars. If you can see it, the glare is a little tough. And this was sitting here, and I threw these stones, and and Mars means all these things in the 6th house. Don't you know that a stone um, hit this little astro dice and turned it over this way, and it put it right here. And this put Venus in the 5th house, kind of in between the 5th and 6th house. And that said to me, I was like laughing. You know, you can't make that up. You can't orchestrate that with a big Hollywood studio. You can't do that. This, I guess you can, but you have little teeny munchkins come out and move the rocks around. But meanwhile, that happened. That let me know that, see, the 6th house is women's health, among other things. It did bode well for vet affairs, our veterans, with Mars there. So when I saw Venus pop over here, I knew that the women and health, Kavanaugh's nomination is about women's health and the right to choose. And when that rolled over to onto the Venus side of this little dice, I just laughed. So let's stick with the process. My question is a little on the serious side, and I really don't like asking it. I'd rather ask a question of, are kittens cuter than puppies? That's more fun to me. But meanwhile, my suspicion, not particularly my intuition. It's just logic and looking at what's going on. So I'm seeking guidance to find out if we are in, if Trump is interested in declaring martial law over, it would have to have something to do with Russia. I mean, it could be a fake attack. I mean, anything can happen. So I'm asking, oh, please let us know. Guide us, your little children. I'm seeing my angels. Let's see. Oh, Capricorn. Capricorn is Venus and the 2nd house. Well, of course, I love Capricorn. You know, us Capricorns, we're not all so stodgy. This is good. This is ruled by the people, hopes and dreams. The 11th house is hopes and dreams. We instead of me. You've moved into a concept of us here. Leo is me. 11th house and Aquarius is weak. Then you move the um, sign of government into the house of hopes, dreams, and we can do this. We shall overcome. Now, that's kind of hopeful. Maybe we're not going to have Trump shooting. I could see him getting a gun and shooting himself in the foot and blaming Hillary Clinton. So here we have Venus. Oh, this is good. This is Venus in the third house of communications. Let me tell you, communications have been the big question for us all. Um, and in studying of the yugas, we are into the age of Aquarius, and one of the main signatures of this new age is communications on all levels, and it started happening around 1900. So you don't have to, if you just think of the world that your grandparents and great grandparents grew up in versus yours. So communications, and Venus is a benign, uh, this is communication specifically from women. You're going to find women having a voice. They're going to think a lot more about, once again, education comes up everywhere in these readings. So education of the young people, kind and gentle communications, um, and communications that are Venus is nice. It's not a warring planet. This is where you're sitting around looking at a cooking show and how to make flower arrangements. So communications are going to get a little nicer than they've been, and women are moving up into the communications area. Um, Money. This is the second house, and it's hanging out here on the fifth house. This is money. Money. That's a hard one to interpret. Money in the fifth house is, that can be stock market, gambling, riskiness, risky business. Lovers from the past. Part of this is brought about by Storma Daniels' money for sex. The fifth house is known as the fun house. This is like where you go to Las Vegas and live it up, but boy, are you sorry. You come back married. Um, so, this is kind of the Las Vegas house. But the second house here is money going into, I would have to put it right to banks, gambling, or things that are risky. That would be sports, money paid to sports figures. Uh, time might bring these things to light, just like the little Venus asteroid that the Mars that tipped over and became a Venus, and the really scary stone that really spelled kind of disaster for our what do they call our president? Commander-in-Chief. Oh my God. I can't even say it without gagging. So, and that was this. That was this confirmation. This is the way that confirmation is going to go. Take a look at this. I mean, it looks sickly right there, just the color is black and brown. So this was the kind of the leaders and the president, the Kavanaugh issue, not going too well there. And somebody does get sick in all of this. But the women are coming up every single time we have the Venus coming up. This is government turns into us as opposed to me. You don't, that money grabbing theme of our government, which has been been a horrible experience. So I would say no. I would say no that it's not going to happen as far as He might try, who knows, but it could only cause death and disaster to make a national emergency. And I didn't see that here. Just 1 minute, and we'll bring up the gems, my magical stones. Okay, I've got them. I kept my eyes closed tight as I could. Let's see what we got. Will Trump create a national emergency to gain um, martial law? It's rumored that Trump thought that martial law was the name of a person. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Oh, I see one of my favorite stones here. Okay. Well, okay. I need to drop them from a higher um, level. So let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. This is stability. This is this is a this is kind of a real conservative stone. That's what I see. So this is you're strong, but you're conservative and thoughtful. This is kind of money in the bank. There's a lot of ways you can deal with your money and your health. You can save it for a rainy day and be boring, or you can go live it up, and then when you're old and gray, you are poor. So that's the story of the grasshopper and the um, ant. So what else we have here? So this conservative, it's a little. This is a little bit of a repression here. So let's see what else we've got. Good with money. This is one of my clear. I was surprised I got so many. This is one. This is a clear stone. It's a rose quartz, and let's see, we get a little clearer here. It's a rose quartz, and it's in the eighth house. So that means clarity. Can you see that? It's clear. It's got this very, very slight uh, rose tint to it. That's good. This is money. This is, you're transparent and it's good. It's also a good vibration of love behind this pink rose quartz. Okay. I think the answer is no. This is, I hate to say it, but uh, this ninth house thing, this stone shows up in all the readings. Um, this is interference from a foreign entity. It is. There it is again. Our Russian comrades, and I think it's ISIS penetration that I've seen. And after that, this is clear. And these mean that if he did pull a stunt like that, the military leaders are not that dumb, and neither are the people. It's not. Well, that's good. I guess that's good. I can't say if these stones and these astrotypes have been right over and over. So my feeling is he could try something like that. The only tragedy is that people die when you start pulling stunts like that. But I'm not seeing that, except for here. This would be probably an attack at our nation's capital. Maybe he'll blow up a monument so people don't get hurt. It's funny. I'm seeing the Bureau of Printing and Engraving here, but it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm only seeing things that they're going to do that are positive for straightening out our government and our finances. This is good. So that's not very exciting. Maybe today I can come forth with another reading that I wanted to. It would be very important. So, I have to contemplate it. So this is a reading. The reading I want to do is once again, a very heavy, serious topic. So I think from our readings from the past couple readings is Kavanaugh is history, and the GOP is going to struggle regaining ground for the way they have behaved. And I will say that probably that more extreme people will come out saying that these women that have come forth are crisis actors. I did a YouTube on gorgeous little Emma Gonzalez. She's 18, an 18-year-old senior living a normal teenage life. You have to think about what it was like for you when you were 18. She ended up being ahead of a national movement to end gun violence, and her experience was horrific, seeing her schoolmates mowed down, and she's 18. I hate to tell you what I was thinking about when I was 18. Hairdos. you know, so she has this national mantle to carry, and the same with her schoolmates, David Hogg and the other kids. They're called crisis actors. I get the comments on my YouTube, um, and people. I've actually had people say that they were crisis. Okay, they're 18 and going to a high school in Florida. I'm serious. It's just so that's what can happen, and we have to be aware of that. I was happy with that the Venus stone here that showed better communications. That is gets a little kinder than it's been, thank God. And will the Russians and I've seen the ISIS people. They're going to be up to mischief. You know, this is the one where one of those guys sends a missile towards us, and so we have to go and shoot it down, and a national emergency is declared, elections are halted, are nullified. There'll be something like that. That's what Hitler did. Hopefully, we're wiser now. So I love you, and remember what my guru and everybody's guru, Yogananda, said. In life, in every step you take, you're either walking towards God or away from God. Namaste, my dear friends.